This podcast is sponsored by Scispot, the best tech stack for modern biotech.
Right. So in bigger companies, what I noticed is people spend more time convincing others, right? Playing that more diplomatic role. In startup, there's no diplomacy. Sometimes it's radical candor. You realize the gap, you fill the gap, and you don't wait for orders, right? That's the ideal startup team member profile, right? So you expect people to come in, identify the gap, and fill it, right? Not waiting for orders. And that makes startups very special. And
sorry, I'm just imagining you waiting for orders.
No, you have to have a bias for action.
or me. Yeah, bias for action, right?
You're
That's the
waiting.
startup. Yeah, right. Like either of us, like, or even perceiving that one had been attempted.
no.
Well, I think, in a large system where you are doing the diplomacy, the amount of time in some cases that takes, your startup would be over. You'd run out of money. There'd be nothing left. So you just have to act, and you're right, fill in those gaps as best you can, which not everybody loves.
Yeah.
You have to be really comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's a great way to put it, because there is comfort working for a bigger machine too, if you like more certainty, right? Mm-hmm. And startup, there's so much, like it's all uncertainty, right? You don't know what's going to happen. There's always risk of dying, right? Irrespective of how mature the startup is. So that makes you smarter. That makes you prioritize things smartly, I would say.
So I think, the power of the startup is that taking on that existential challenge, right? Of like, we are going to use genomics to help improve IVF outcomes, right? And that's powerful. Like it's powerful in terms of the way you spend your time during the day. It's powerful in the way it like sort of occupies your mind. And it's powerful in the story that you get to tell, and you get to bring like amazing people along for the journey because you're doing this really cool, singular, new, awesome thing.
No, totally. I think you have to live and breathe that, and especially when you always have a risk of dying or explode, right? You see both things together because this is going to work, and it can be huge. It can impact millions of lives if it works in your case, especially. So you are excited about that, and you cannot afford doing 10 other things. So you always have to come back, focus, really understand what's the DNA of the company, what's the mission and vision of the company, and then align all the resources, right? Even find people who will align with the vision of the company. Because if you hire people, they don't believe in the startup, it's very hard to grow and create something massive.
Yeah.
Right, even when I was starting a business, I was like, should I really go through that H-1B visa or apply for EB-1? But I want to do something quickly. I just applied for Canada. They accepted this right away. And we still do most of our business in the US.
US, wow, yeah.
But I
guess the market is there.
Market is there. It's a massive market.
Yeah, nobody in Canada will stay in Canada. Like even like when you talk to other businesses, money is not in Canada, unfortunately. But money is not in Canada. Like even if you are able to raise up to like Series A, even B, like there's not much. Like you can't go further. Like from A to B, like businesses just go to the US. They raise funds, they establish there, they go to the market, they they grow, and then if they're really willing to come back to Canada, they do, right?
But it can be a good thing too in a way, because doing R&D is really cheap in Canada. People don't understand.
Absolutely.
Right? Salaries are almost 40% less what you would pay, let's say, in the Bay Area.
Absolutely.
Plus the currency difference, it's like 1 to 1.4,
exactly.
1.42.
Yeah.
So it's basically you're paying half
of course.
for similar quality of talent. So I think to build the company, Canada is still an amazing place. Yeah, I mean, there's some data that supports like women founders are doing better. So yeah, but investors, when you talk to them, they're always judging.
They are right.
Man or woman.
I'm sure you have all the experiences.
Yeah, when you speak with them, you start questioning
yourself for sure.
Am I that bad?
I actually wanted to say that.
Yeah.
It's not women versus men. It's like generally some investors are really intimidating. It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
You as a founder, you always question yourself, am I doing it wrong? And or like, will I ever be successful? You never know that, right? Like living with that uncertainty is the worst part of it, right?
Oh, totally.
The thing is you have to do that inner talk with yourself of like, you can do this, like be confident in yourself, or at least gamble on yourself, right? If there's something that I have to gamble on, it's me, right?
Yeah.
So even if like it might fail, even us, right? Like it doesn't matter. It might fail whenever.
Oh, we will not fail.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, I think raising funds, I remember after YC Demo Day, speaking with VCs, what I realized is you have to be open to embarrass yourself.
Exactly.
Just show up and they will say 10 things. One of them are probably right. If multiple people say that, you keep working on it, you embarrass yourself, and someone will bet on you, right? You only need one group to bet on you.
Completely agree.
Yeah. But yeah, I think fundraising is very painful, and different VCs have their own biases. Like you said, against it can be based on gender, race, or accents.
No, of course. And it's understandable in some cases. But generally, that's like a challenge anyways, right? That you have to overcome.
So like to start a company, you need many ingredients in the right mix, right? So you have idea about the tech, you have first few customers, then you have to figure out how to make this like a recurring business. Then you need to find your co-founder, register a company. So if you go deep, like how do you start a company from university lab?
Yeah, I think first you have to have a team, right? Because you have to first say, okay, I have an idea and I have some sense for how I'm gonna like sell it to do with it. But once you have that, and you're like, look, I'm gonna try to turn this into a company, you need a team. Like, who's gonna actually do this work, right? And so finding, getting a team around you is really important. And so, and that comes from your network, right? You need somebody who will complement your skills, because you can't do everything, especially in the early days where you really have no idea what the heck is going on, right, what you're doing. So you really need, you need supportive leadership, because, even if the professors don't like actively do anything for the company.
Right. They're more advisory.
You need them, but you need them to get their blessing to do things, because the university listens to them. You need to, you need encouragement from them. Just like as a human being, you need somebody in your corner, right? You need them to write you support letters for grant proposals and put their faces on slide decks and stuff like that. So you do need sort of this cloud of people around you. And even if you're kind of like the prime sort of pusher, or the one who is just like going and doing all the stuff, you can't do everything yourself. And so you have to have people you can depend on, and they have to complement your skills, right?
Is entrepreneurship a skill or a mindset?
Entrepreneurship is a mental disorder. This is what I often say, is that I'm a CEO, I'm a founder, and I'm an entrepreneur. A founder is just a historical statement. I founded a company, I'm a founder. CEO is a job. I have certain tasks I do for money. And entrepreneur is a mental disorder that makes you crazy. You have to do this and you can't stop.
Yeah. I think you have to be crazy to start something from scratch and then stick around for a decade or so.